Hi everyone and welcome to Conspectus. Conspectus is basically defined as a short summary. And with this series which we're producing with Meta, we're going to give you short summaries of the relevant topics so that you get important, relevant information which is packed within a span of like 1 to 2 minutes so that you don't waste time reading all the information which is available on the internet but still get that relevant information that you would want to counsel your patients, as well as what you would want to actually look after your laboratories, to look after your procedures, etc. So we're going to cover a lot of topics in this series, and we begin with the first one, which is on semen quality trends, because that's something that we are facing at the moment. There is a sharp decline which we're seeing, and whether it's relevant to us or not, what are the different causes for it, that's something that we're going to cover. I'm Dr. Keshav Malhotra. I'm the director of Meta, so Malhotra Embryology Training Academy, and you can contact me on metaembryology@gmail.com. So let's begin. Now we know that there is a sharp decline in the male fertility patterns which is actually happening over the last few decades or so. If you look at the average sperm concentration, that's declined from 91 million to almost 39 million over the last few decades. The sperm morphology has gone down from 64% to 18%. And the amount of patients who are actually walking into your clinic with a TMSC of 0 to 5 million, those patients have increased from 9% to 15.5%. Again, this is data from over 70 years where they've actually seen a 20% decline in the sperm volume and a 58% decline in the sperm production. So this actually tells us that this trend has been going on for a long time. 70 years is quite a long time as far as our generation is concerned. Now, what are the different causes for it? Now, male factor infertility, like you all know, can be attributed to a lot of causes. They can be anatomical causes, they can be causes which are related to genetics, they can be causes which are related to the environment. There are so many things which you can actually correlate male fertility with. But for this lecture, we are only going to focus on the declining trend that is happening and something that we can observe over a period of time. So the first thing that we can actually see is that the testosterone levels in men is falling, right? So the average testosterone levels in a man in this decade or in the last 2 decades has actually fallen by over 25%. And 1 in 4 men over the age of 30 will have low testosterone levels. And we all know that testosterone is something which is important as far as spermatogenesis is concerned. What can be attributed to? Now, when you look back over the last 30-40 odd years, the only thing that has increased drastically, or the consumption has increased drastically, is that of plastics. I'm sure each and every household uses plastics in multiple ways. It's not just the kind of plates, spoons, cutlery, etc. that you're using, your carry bags, etc. Almost every other thing is made up of plastic. So when you look at this graph comparing the plastic boom, which started in 1970s, to the male fertility patterns, we can actually correlate a clear trend where we see that the plastic which is increasing globally from 1970 to 2010, and then you see the male fertility parameters falling drastically. And this is something that we all need to consider. And it's not just plastics, it's all the other disruptors which are available as of now, which are in major use as of now. And this can be in your diet, the lifestyle habits like smoking, alcohol, the amount of pollution that exists, the radiation levels which are there. All of these cause epigenetic modifications in your body, which can actually result in a decline in the sperm count. But something that we have to worry about is that this epigenetic modification is not just for yourself. It will carry on throughout generations. So this is known as a transgenerational epigenetic inheritance. So now the life of your offsprings, or the quality of life of your offsprings, will depend on what you eat. And that's something that we really need to think about now. And it's not just fertility, which is actually getting disrupted because of these disruptors. Basically, all these environmental factors cause testicular dysgenesis, which can result in disturbed Sertoli cell function, which can result in impaired germ cell differentiation, which can result in obviously decline in male fertility, but can also cause testicular cancers. testicular dysgenesis also causes a decreased functioning of the Leydig cells, which causes an androgen insufficiency, which can lead to hypospadiasis in children and testicular maldescent. So these are things which we now need to really consider. One more thing that is happening at the moment, and this has been happening throughout millions of years of evolution, and that is that the Y chromosome itself is shrinking. So if you look at the size of the Y chromosome from 300 million years ago, it was probably as big as the X chromosome. But now, it has actually shrunk into a very minuscule size. And if this trend continues, we don't even know what's going to happen with human evolution. So things to consider as far as the decline in sperm quality is concerned is that you have to make your patients and yourself aware about all these environmental disruptors which are present in the current scenario. You have to tell them about the diets which they can take. You have to tell them the things that they can avoid. Obviously, pollution is something that you all need to focus on. Plastics is something that we all need to worry about. So tell them that they have to reduce their use of plastics. Tell them that they have to avoid pollution, or they actually can wear a mask when they're outside, so that their fertility is preserved and the fertility of the upcoming generations is also preserved. So this was our short take on sperm quality trends. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you look forward to the next one. See ya.